start recording. So we are recording now. So I wanted to say welcome to everyone. I'm glad that we're having a chance to meet again, and I'm glad that you guys find this beneficial. As I said in the last meeting, wish I had started this earlier, but in previous classes I tried, and I would sit on a Zoom session by myself I gave it about 20 minutes, and then when no one showed up, I left. So, but it's great to see all of you. So the first thing what I'd like to do is just talk about the past assignment and just get feedback from you guys. What did you think about it? Did you feel it was useful? Did you learn from it? You know, things of that nature. So specifically talking to the discussion board posts, I loved many of the different interpretations that we got out of some of the nonverbal cues that the images were portraying. And Eric, I have to give you props. You know, we got a double whammy from you with giving us 2 descriptions, which I thought was awesome. And feel free going forward, guys, to have fun with the discussion boards. It's the one place where, you know, we don't have to be grammatically correct as much as we can be, but it's a place where, you know, we're just supposed to be talking and chatting with one another. And I thought the collaboration back and forth was great. And so I wanted to pose this question to everyone because I wrote it on a couple of discussion board posts of the first image, which was of Elon Musk. And lots of people, like no one really, the one thing that I took away from it that many people didn't see, I felt as though his body was tilted a little bit, which to me conveyed, like, you know, his hands were open, which was great. You know, that's a great place to have your hands, and you know, it's with that basketball position, but that slight tilt, it was like, does he know what he's talking about? Is he talking off the cuff? And, you know, so what did you guys think of the assignment?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's, go ahead, Megan, I'm sorry.
No, I thought it was helpful. I think it really shows that whatever the perception of other people is really what's reality, not necessarily what you think you may be communicating. So I found it helpful to see how many people had different interpretations of just slightly different images.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so key to understand these different forms of body language, because you could be conveying something to someone. I know, you know, I'm originally from New York, and the New Yorkers, you know, we talk with our hands a lot, and lots of people have always told me, you know, why do you use your hands so much? But I would also, you know, I found it to be relaxing to cross my arms, and then, you know, finding out about all this body language, realizing that, you know, I'm sort of closing myself off to the people that I'm talking to. So when you get into the real world and the working environment, and, you know, you may be very cognizant of your body language while others may not, and that could help you greatly, you know, once you're out there. You know, if you're having an interview, or if it's an employee evaluation, you can just, you know, stare at your boss and, you know, don't let him know that you're analyzing him. But I mean, I think it's definitely to your advantage understanding these different cues that people give off.
Yeah, I felt when I was actually this morning, I was doing my stand-up crew meeting, and I was kind of like starting to think about my body language and how I'm kind of conveying myself. And I did notice at one point I crossed my arms, so I was like slowly kind of went away from it, but it was kind of started thinking about it a little bit more, because I do those every day, and then so it was a good learning experience.
That's awesome. Absolutely. Yeah. Pay close attention to it, because, you know, especially if you ever have to do, public speaking. I mean, that's where, you know, you could be doing things and you're not even realizing it. And, maybe you'll get a comment from someone, hey, is everything okay? And you're like, yeah, why? And they'll just see things in you that you may not be aware of. So I'm glad that you put it to good use, Matt. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, all right, so we'll talk about the upcoming assignment. And we have, okay, so want to do a little bit of explaining about the next assignment. So you have a sales proposal that you have to do. The discussion board is just going to be your sales proposal. So you don't have to write anything, right? So you can attach it as a Word document. You can copy and paste the entire thing if you want. And the response on the discussion board is, I would expect you're responding to 2 classmates. Sometimes people respond to more, but because there'll be a lot of reading on the discussion board, if you're looking at someone's entire proposal, I would say keep it to 2 because that would be enough work in itself. It's my cat. So you're going to post your sales proposal, and your responses to your peers are going to be, you didn't sway me, or you did sway me, right? So you have to put yourself in the position of you're getting this sales proposal, and was it convincing enough for you to say, yeah, you got my business, I'm going to do business with you. Okay, so that's for the discussion board, which is due after the assignment. So for the actual sales proposal, so in the instructions, it has, if you're cyber, if you're IT, whatever specialization that you're in, basically, you have a company, and let's say you have a cybersecurity company, and you have created this brand new software that helps to detect, malicious attacks. And you're doing really well in the US, and now you want to expand your business internationally. Where would you go, right? It could be the same company that you chose from your environmental scan, since you've done research on that company. It could be on that country. It can be a completely different country. So if I were cybersecurity, and if it were me, I have this new software, and I would probably want to expand into a country that is pretty vulnerable, where they really don't care that much about cybersecurity. The retail industry, if you guys remember from the Edit a Paper, the retail industry in itself, they are extremely vulnerable. So perhaps you want to say that you're a cybersecurity company that deals with retail vendors in the United States, and now I'm coming to you in this other country because cybersecurity in the US is so bad, and maybe you can find statistics on the country that you choose as to why you're selecting that particular country for that company, if that makes sense. And you're going to persuade them to make it sound like, oh, gosh, why wouldn't I do business with this company? Right? And the same thing for ADMG specialization. You provide website services. You create websites for a particular industry. I don't know, in any industry, the clothing industry, right? So you want to go to a country where perhaps there are a lot of small mom and pop shops that sell clothing, and they put together their own little website, but you want to display to them, look at all of the great things that we can do for you. Look at how we can improve visitors that come to your site. And your site is great, but we can make it better, right? So when you're doing a sales proposal, you never want to say anything negative about the company that you're trying to persuade, right? The sales proposal is more about that company instead of me, instead of I can do this. Well, you have to speak about that in your sales proposal with the company background and what you got, what you do, what you've accomplished, how many people you've helped. But then you have to make it all about this company. You know, we know you have a great website, but you know, we can increase traffic to your site by X percentage. And also have, you know, we can send out email campaigns to your customers. You know, if you're a data analytics, you know, we have this software where we can gather all of this information that's going to expand your customer base. Again, it's not, we know that you're a small business and you're probably not getting the traction that you want. Right, that's negative. It's like, if I'm that person that you're writing to, I would be offended. Well, just because I'm a small business and I made my own website, you think that I need your help, right? So you want to keep it, you want to keep anything negative out of it. So after you've written it, reread it and make sure that you don't have anything negative in your sales proposal, because you're selling something and it's supposed to be a very, very persuasive document. So questions? None.
I have a quick question.
Sure, Kimberly.
So we're making up a company and then we're going to find another company in another country, and then we're going to use our made-up company to try to persuade this other company to, can we find like a real company in that country?
Sure.
To use instead of trying to make up two sides of the story? Can I just make up one?
Absolutely.
Okay, that'd be easier.
Yeah, absolutely. You can have a real company and make up a company in another country. You can do it, you know, vice versa. You can do it in any way that you wish. You just, the point to get across is that you need us. We're going to help you, but in a more persuasive way.
Okay.
Right? We're going to make you better. We're going to make you grow. Part of the, I'm just looking at my notes here. So as part of the assignment, you have to list out the services that you perform and then come up with an itemized cost list. So the way that I've instructed students to do this in the past is, when you go to a website, do you ever see where you can purchase like a subscription or something from them? And there's the silver and the gold and the platinum, right? Yes. And with the silver, you know, you get this, and with the gold, you get this. So something along those lines, like, you know, we can help you, and here's our price structure. And, you know, we have 3 levels of what we can offer you depending on your needs. And here's what we would recommend, you know, based on our research of your company and the industry and the cyber threats that are going on. We would recommend you go with the gold, which would cost you X amount of dollars per month, blah, 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 blah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
That's helpful.
Yeah, and then so you've got a title, your title page, your table of contents, and this could be, you know, you could make this pretty glamorous, graphs, pictures, anything that you want. It's not in APA formatted paper. You know, your title page can be, you know, your company logo or your company name and sales proposal for XYZ company, right? And then you're going to have your table of contents. And then with your introduction, you know, you could have a photo of your facility, you know, or your employees or whatever. So you can jazz it up, right? Which is definitely more engaging, because if you're going to get a sales proposal from someone, you want to keep them engaged, right? So you want to use pictures, you want to use graphs, you want to use bullet points, right? Because if you just put in blobs of text, you're going to lose the reader, right? You know, I get it's not necessarily a sales proposal, but I get things in the mail from car dealerships, or my husband and I, we love to go to the Wynn in Las Vegas, and I'll constantly get letters from them in the mail. And it's like, hey, join us for, you know, the super summer weekend giveaway and blah, 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 you know, so it's salesy, right? But you want to also show the benefits. And, you know, the long textual writing, I would say you're going to lose readers if you do that, right? So, so like I said, bullet points, images, you know, your introduction, yes, that's probably going to be a paragraph in itself, but, you know, if you add an image to it, that would probably jazz it up and make it look a little cool. And, you know, as someone getting the sales proposal, if I'm looking at, you know, if you have a picture of your staff, I'm probably going to get engaged, and I'm going to look at that photo, right, and say, oh, look at all these people that work there. And then I'll probably read on, right? And now you want to continue to keep my interest, right? So that's the point of this. So any questions?
When it comes to the title page on it, some of the examples are very elaborate, like photos and colors and everything. But when I read the, not necessarily instructions, but your like what a title page is in the book, it's very bland, like it's X, Y, and Z, and that's it. What are you, or what should we be doing?
So for a sales proposal, because it's not an APA paper, it's not a regular writing assignment, you want to make it look as jazzy as possible. You want to make it so that it's engaging, right? Because the person that you're trying to sell to, they have a business, right? And let's say you're cybersecurity, you know, so you want to put some digital stuff on the cover page and everything, and they're going to understand that right away, right? So if your cover page were to be very bland, it's like, oh, here we go, another sales proposal from whoever, I'm just going to throw it away. So you want it to be, you know, right off the bat, something that's so engaging that's going to make the person at that company want to continue turning the page. Right. So that's a sales proposal. You know, you have to constantly work on finding ways to keep the reader engaged, because if they don't make it to the end, you're not going to get their business. You know, when I was in the program, I did a sales proposal, and I was going to find it and bring it up to you guys, but even the professor, when I did it, he said, you did way too much. I mean, so when I went through the program, it wasn't based on any specialization. You can do anything. And mine was on, I was a caterer, and there were a group of people coming in from another country, and I was putting together this catering proposal for them. You know, they could have chosen any caterer, but I wanted to make it so appealing to them. And, you know, I had menus and, you know, that were dedicated to the countries to make them feel at home, and the schedules. So it went way too deep than what I'm expecting from you guys. But that's the gist of it. It's, you know, there are other people out there like you that have a business like you do. So why should I go with you instead of them? Right. And that's what you want to convince me of. And then for your discussion posts, when you attach your document, that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be reading through someone else's sales proposal, and you're going to be like, you lost me right at the introduction, or maybe somebody put something in there that said, your website looks okay. And my comment would be, you lost me right at that point. You lost me at okay. Or it could end up that this was great. You would definitely get my business, and here are the things that I felt that were so compelling that I would decide to go with you. So that's the discussion board post part of it. So that's what I wanted to talk about. The next assignment that's due. So this is due on Thursday. Discussion board. So you're going to be posting something that's not graded potentially, which is fine, because that is also another area where, it's somewhat of a peer review where, someone would point out and say, well, you spelled my company name like this over here, but then you misspelled it over here. And for that reason, you'd never get my business, right? So it's almost, you're doing a peer review to see how convincing you can be with your sales proposal. So any questions? Comments, future assignments, anything of that nature?
Are we going to have this next week on Monday also?
Yeah, if you guys would like to do it so that we can go over the next assignment, and that's how I'd like to do it, sort of do a recap of the previous assignment, and then we can look forward to the upcoming assignment. And for this assignment, I don't think it's going to be something should be very long, even with your font and your font size, you want to make sure that it's alluring to the eyes, and not that I'm squinting and reading something. Just think of it as if it were you. You're the audience in this scenario, and you're writing to somebody, and after you've reviewed your sales proposal, would you be convinced if somebody sent you that sales proposal? And that's how you can determine, whether or not you think you did a good job or not. But I have confidence in all of you. You guys have been doing wonderful. So what else do we have going on?
Congratulations to Alex.
On?
You just got engaged?
He did. Do you see that?
Congrats.
Well, congratulations, Alex. He's on mute. I don't know if he can hear us. Can you hear us, Alex? We can't hear you.
Hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Oh.
So everyone is saying congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, it was nerve-wracking, but it worked out.
Awesome.
It was
good
funny
for you.
Yeah, thank you. It was funny because she was supposed to come back on the 18th yesterday, but instead she came back 3 weeks sooner, and I had already planned all this stuff out, and then she came home early. Like, I planned a camping trip, already reserved all this stuff, and like had it planned out how I was gonna do it, and then I had to change it on the fly. So it kind of sucked, but at the same time, it still worked out.
Absolutely. And you know what? There's the prelude to a successful marriage. Things are going to change all the time.
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Cool, good for you. So I know that you joined us late. I have recorded this, so I'm going to post it, and I went over the expectations for the upcoming paper and discussion board. You know, if you have any other questions after that, just feel free to text me or whatever. But assignment is due Thursday, 11:59 p.m. And I think that we will schedule another meeting on Monday so that we can talk about the past assignment, which will be the sales proposal, and then we can talk about the expectations for the next assignment. Sound good?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Cool. So unless you guys have any other questions, concerns, or comments or anything, we might be done.
Oh, I legit got you guys at the tail end, I guess.
You got us at the tail end. We went through everything, but at least we got to congratulate you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it very much.
So, all right, well, everyone have a good week. And I look forward to your sales proposals. And if you need me before then or before our next Zoom session on Monday, I'll send out an announcement to remind you guys. Just feel free to, you know, send me an email or something or whatever. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have a great week.
Bye.
Take care.